What do I think about when I think about Alameda? The first thing that comes to mind is I think about the camaraderie. I think about all the people that impacted my career, whether it was Brooks Wells, George Fincher, Ryan Caney, Mike Knuckles, Scott Lane, Jeremy. Uh, those are really the people who made me who I am today, not just inside of work, but outside of work as well. I think about the first day that we brought that ping pong table in. We went to Brooks, and Brett South and I went and said, listen, the morale in the office, it was slow. It was coming off, 2008, really tough times. That ping pong table, if it's still there, I have no idea, but if it's still there, that represents so much more than just something to do when you're bored or when you have some downtime at work. That really was the catalyst to a change in attitude in that office. Um, it turned tough times into um, the ability to decompress, create some friendly competition, and uh, people would hang out after work and build that camaraderie just to play some games of ping pong. But in that same time, right, you're during those down periods while you're waiting for a game or you're challenging your next person, we were pounding out calls, trying to fill requests. It was that kind of tenacity that led to the success when we were there. The other thing that I think about when Alameda comes to mind is leadership. You think about all the different leaders that have come out of that office and where I am today. I'm with, AGS now, but you think about Scott Lane as a DBO, you think about Ryan Caney as a DBO, Brooks Wells as a VP, George Fincher as a DBO. The just all the people that have come out of that office have been impacted, right? And it's a long history of success. I think the other question was, sorry, I'm pulling my phone up here to see what the other question was. How did working in Alameda help your career? Wow. God, I would break it into two parts. The first part is professional, and the second part is personal. Um, I moved to San Francisco from Chicago for a finance job in the worst economy, right, that we've seen since the Great Depression. I actually lost that job 2.5 months in and was laid off and was one of the last people hired on the West Coast by Aerotech. Um, and even though that there was a small downturn and some people from Aerotech had to get let go, I remember, when Brooks let me know that he was going to keep me, I said I wouldn't let him down. And through the work, that we did at Alameda, through all of the different people that have impacted me, I would say that I didn't let him down, but it was all the people that didn't let me down, that inspired me to be better. I still remember, although I think he's probably at like 75K now. Ruben will always remember the battle that we had to see who got to 10K first, which I did. So if you're watching this, I hope you remember that. But in any event, I think it really made me a better person. Now, personally, I came into the job as a fresh out of school, immature, kind of didn't have a care in the world. But I was quickly put in line. I think it was a realization that I had to work with people around me, make people better around me. And it was something that I didn't buy into at first, that I thought was, company Kool-Aid. And to this day, right, I will always remember a conversation I had with Brooks where, I walked into his office after hitting 10K, 6 months into the job, and I said, hey, I'd love to get promoted and move on to a sales role. And he said, you're closer to getting fired than you are to getting promoted. You should go ask your peers what they think about you. I had those tough conversations, got hit right between the eyes, and started to make changes not only in my career and business life, but in my personal life as well. And probably 2 months into that change, my world changed, and I met my now wife. And I think it's a lot to do with my change in attitude and the people that helped me in that office become a better person. I owe so much of my career. I owe so much of everything, that I have right now to the people in that office. So the nickel and dime holds a special place in my heart. So it's not entrusted to the weak. So I hope all of you can fulfill the legacy and become the next leader of, either Aerotech Tech or one of the other operating companies. Thanks.